Oh,
There we
there we
go.
go.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I'll start then. We have a really pretty bird here, the painted bunting, an excellent shot, good exposure, sharp, cute little bird. Um, Very well done with plain background. The background kind of bothers me because it looks like a portrait rather than something captured in nature. It is so solid, but otherwise, it's just an excellent little portrait of this bird.
And we thought it would score. Well, tell them what you scored it, Karen.
I believe we gave it an 8.
That's right. And we thought it would have scored higher than that if only the tail would have not been soft. I don't. We don't think that that's a serious enough problem to not give it an acceptance. But if you're talking about a 9 or a 10, had that tail been perfectly sharp, then everything that's important in that image is 100%. So congratulations, it's a beautiful photograph. Next.
The little blue hair. This is again very well done on the bird, and you have him flying. The blue feathers are well captured. The animal is in motion. The head, neck, and eye are sharp. Foreground wing has gone a bit soft, but again, very well done. It's well composed. It's tight to the bird. You have little droplets of water coming from the talons.
What's the score?
I don't. I believe it got a 7.
No, no,
Maybe
it's got an 8.
got an 8. Got an 8.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Frozen in time. There are interesting ice formations. You've got your foreground, middle ground, and background well done. Got good lighting on the pancake ice. It's a very good landscape. Might sell well. The background is sharp. I'm afraid it got a 7, though. Maybe it got an 8.
It would have scored higher, but we thought that the glare in the middle ground was a little distracting and and to the point where it's really hard to have your eye flow smoothly through the picture. Next.
Okay, we have overposting Ikamen wasp. The subject is in the process of creating, I guess, an ova or giving birth, really. And it's a really interesting wasp if you look at it as long talons from the back of the tail coming down, and it's very sharp throughout. Everything about it is well focused, well exposed. Um, Something you don't see every day. So it got an 8.
Next.
Beaver River in fall. This is a really good landscape. It has patriotic feeling to it. If you're from the North Country, you have to love the falls, the rocks, the trees in the background. You have a nice sky full of detail. I guess the Beaver River is part of a wedding event center, and they do wedding photography with scenes like this. But this is very well done. Nice photograph. It also got an 8.
Could we go back just quickly? Um, I think we would have scored it higher, but found the glare right up front here next to the waterfall just a little bit distracting, but it's still a very nice image. Uh, thank you. Next.
The roosting northern wet owl. This got an 8. Very close, very well composed, very tight on the owl. There's no real quibble with the exposure, but to take off a tad to the left, not a lot to the left, but just a small amount to the left, would uh, emphasize your owl a little more. But it's a really cute little bird with very sharp beak eyes. Uh, Face, beak eyes. Feathers go a bit soft, but this is difficult to sharpen with young birds like owls. And I really like the natural background, the pine trees, puts the bird in situ. I think this got an 8.
Next.
Okay, the rock Helix. This is really cute. You have all 3 animals looking at the camera. They're all smiling. If you're a portrait photographer, getting all 3 of your subjects to smile at the same time can be challenging. So you did really well with this. The only quibble is that the front center Hyrex is going a bit soft in the nose and the muzzle. Otherwise, it's great, but you're losing kind of your nose on your center animal. I love the expression on the faces, but this got a 7.
And Karen, you're actually referencing the subject on the right, right? Is that the one with the
Right.
soft nose?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Next.
A little privacy, please. Here you have your subject, both of the wasps are looking at the camera, which is quite a good thing. Really lucked out there. You've got dealt with your chromatic aberration on a purple flower. That's really good. I would have liked it better had you gotten closer to the wasps and kind of forgotten about the flower by now. Maybe you were focusing on the flower and the wasps came along, but the wasps have become the subject by now. And if you could get really sharp on the wasps, you could probably put it in the award category. So this got a 7, I think.
Next.
Remember to look down. This is beautiful, just spectacular nature landscape. It reminds me of the Blacklocks, Les Blacklock, Craig, Nadine Blacklock, all of the Blacklocks and their aesthetic ideas of nature photography. You have the very intense colors, the beautiful reds and greens. It's just a wonderful picture. It got an 8, maybe a 9.
No, I thought it was a 9.
9?
Yep.
9. Okay. Mississippi pancake ice. This would make a spectacular like monochrome, and it might do really well in a monochrome category competition. Uh, it's very minimalist, modern. Uh, the composition is good. It's an interesting subject. The ice shelf on the right gives it context. I think it's still got a 7 though. Just there are so many rocks available in nature that can't really.
Yep, next.
Greening trumpeter swan. This is very good. High key image. The swan, the background is complementing the white feathers. Everything is sharp. It's good. The preening gives it activity, motion. Maybe preening isn't the most interesting activity, though, and it ended up with a 7, but it's very well composed, sharp, good focus, very nice. Ravens in Yellowstone. This one I like. You got the two birds, probably a mating pair, and they are sharp and well composed, and the composition is tight, etc. You have the blown out, or not, I can't say blown out, but blurred background that makes it almost a studio portrait. Looks like there's the highlights look almost like a flash on the birds. Um, it's very nice. It got a 7. It looks a little unnatural, I guess, with the background and so on.
I I think there's a picture here to be had if it were just worked with a bit. I think the birds are lost somewhat. It there's so if you work with the lighting, rebalancing the lighting, the gray tones, I think there's a wonderful picture. What makes it really nice is the interaction. I think that works really well. So what I would be trying to do if this were mine is I would try to uh, constrict the dynamic range is really what it would be, is that I would make the reflections just a little less harsh, and I would try to tease out more detail in the black part, especially the lower breast of the one on the left. I think there's a picture there, and but from my experience working with subjects like this, the margin is just so narrow. But I think it's well worth tinkering with it to optimize this image. Next.
Northern hawk owl. We have a lot of hawk owls here. The eyes and beak are sharp. Everything about the bird is sharp. It's a really cute little specimen. Maybe the feathers are soft, but again, all of these owls seem to have the soft feathers. It's just something to do with the owl itself, I think, rather than the photographer. My quibble is that the space on either side of the owl is unnecessary to me, and you could crop one side or the other side to keep it off center, but I think there's just too much empty space around the bird to really get into the awards categories.
Next. Oh, did we give the score on that one?
I think it got a 7.
Yep. Okay.
Bald eagle portrait. This is one that John really liked and was telling me about the eyelid. And I'm just going to let John tell you about this picture.
Sure, one of the things that makes it interesting is the nicotinating eyelid that it's got there, and it's got that little shadow that's created by the eyelid. I think it's adds something that we don't see all that time that often, although it's not all that uncommon, but I think it's nicely handled here. The one thing that I'm not sure about this picture is that this is the sort of image that I would walk away from if I went to the Raptor Center demonstration somewhere, like they had their birds at Fort Snelling, and so I would take the picture not showing the full bird in nature because it wasn't a natural setting, and so this says W, which says, and you guys can correct me but W means it was a nature shot, not a captive bird or a zoo bird. But I think the way it's presented, it looks like what you would come away from if it were uh, a captured bird or a zoo bird. And so we see a lot of these marvelous images with great detail. So I apologize if I think that the opportunity missed here then uh, is that it doesn't look that wild. And uh, but I think we still gave it a good score. What was the score, Karen?
I think it's neat.
Okay.
Here we have gregarious Gabble's quail. That's a very interesting top knot on the quail. Do you want to get a close up of it? It's quite a good close up of the bird. Everything is sharp. The bird is looking at the photographer. The background is blown out, not blown out, blurred. But it got a 7. We need something more, maybe more detail in that gable. The blacks are kind of blocking up in your center of interest there.
I think there's
But
more information to be had if you worked with the image a little bit. You could tease out more detail in the top knot and in the eye itself. There's more uh, and underneath the eye. Uh, and also, this is we talked about this earlier. Um, there a lot of these photographs just are waiting for somehow finding a story to go along with the image, and without that kind of a behavior or something, it just doesn't have as much impact. Next.
the gobbling gobbler. This one actually scored higher. We like the red and the blue wattles on the turkey with the white background, the natural background visible in situ. It would be better if you had the turkey's tail included in the picture. And maybe you have too much to the left of the background. You could kind of cut it up to the tree, perhaps. But anyway, it's very sharp, it's colorful, it's kind of a common bird locally, but still, I thought it was very well done. So that got an 8. Here we have a monkey contemplating some plant it has eaten. All of the technical details are good. There's a natural surrounding and some action. Um, it's technically very good. It still got a 7.
No, no,
Just
no. It got an
oh,
8, didn't it?
got an 8.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
then it got an 8 anyway. Good, good.
I think where he's it shows that some story. He's eating and all that, and I really do believe that everything that is sharp, uh, that should be sharp is sharp. I like the rim lighting a little bit. There's a little bit of rim lighting that I think adds to it. Um, I think this is minor. There's a couple of like hot white spots up above the head. Those are not fatal flaws in this picture, but that's, if those didn't exist, we might have scored it higher than an 8. But a very nice image and good textures and sharpness. Thank you. Next.
Swamper Lake, black and white. Um, this is nice. It's a good landscape. The interest is more or less entirely on the background clump of trees on what appeared to be an island. It would have scored higher if there had been more foreground interest. The bushes in the foreground kind of lack the kind of interest you want for a landscape, but it's a very good uh, picture with the middle ground, some detail in the clouds there, but it got a 7.
Next.
Magpie Incaps pair. This got an 8. Very nicely done on the mushrooms. The foreground with the leaves around is quite good. I would kind of want to cut out a tad of the sides, but that's just me. You don't have to if you don't feel like it. I think this got an 8.
Next.
Storm over Lake St. Mary. This is good. It looks like a hailstorm over the lake with sun actually still illuminating the right side cliff. So it's got drama, weather, action. Uh, Still a 7, maybe just impact issue.
Yeah, I think it would have scored higher. Um, I think it looks like you've got a storm coming in, and I think that if you could do something to boost the contrast to make those clouds look even more menacing and all that, but it has kind of a milky softness to it, not like focus softness, but I think just a little bit of boost on the contrast would make a big difference on this picture.
Wild ginger. I want to call this a macro, although it may be just a close up. But you're very good on your flower. Got good color, good sharpness, good exposure. Got a natural background. It's an interesting plant. It's very good. Technically, everything about it is good, but it did get a 7 in any case.
Next.
So this is just a really cute little animal in a good natural background. He's looking right at the photographer, just as cute as he can be. You've got the tail feathers. It's well composed. You really don't need to take anything off of the sides or anywhere. So that got an 8.
Okay, next.
I'll let John talk about this one.
Yeah, I really liked this one, and one of the reasons I liked it was uh, look at that iridescence and the sharpness in the wing. It's just look at this. It's just a great range of colors that you brought out on this image, and So I think that the execution was really good in terms of depth of field and the separation with the background. I think that all works. My eye goes to exactly where I think it ought to go, but there's still, even if you get past the beak and the eyes, there you discover the wings and just see how wonderful that was done. So congratulations on that. And that was, what did we give that?
An 8.
Okay.
Here we have Deep Thoughts. It's a really nice landscape. You have your foreground, middle ground, background, all well done. The sunset or sunrise really contributes that interesting color to the sky, to the ice. It looks, I'm wondering about the foreground object, what that is. It might be a fishing net frozen in the ice. Not sure exactly what that is, but anyway, it's a very nice landscape. That got an 8.
Okay. Next.
Grasshopper nymph molten exoskeleton. Um, very sharp throughout, close up, interesting subject. That got an 8.
Okay. Let me, one of the things I liked about that one was these colors, the blues here and all that. I think that uh, it was kind of nicely used to frame um, the subject and the fact that you've got this higher contrast uh, near the head. I think all that works and that's so nice and sharp and good separation. So it's really nicely done. Next.
Caribou Migration, Alaska. Maybe John wants to tell you about this one also.
Um, well, as we looked at this, it certainly the subjects that you're photographing are very interesting. We thought that they weren't prominent enough, um, or uh, and how would you do that? Well, maybe a lower angle. I'm not sure, but you also had this clustering of the animals. Uh, and so a person always struggles, hopes that they're going to have good separation and maybe more of a line or something like that. But this clump of subjects kind of distracts. And so I think it didn't quite rise to the level of an acceptance. Next.
Here you had red morph eastern screech owl watching possible prey during a snowfall. You've got a really nice little snow cap on your screech owl. It is the red morph of a bird that is normally gray, I believe, or brown. But anyway, it's very clear on everything about the owl. The log or branch he's sitting on is very good. The only thing is since he has his head pressed against his chest, you don't really get to see the owl. He doesn't stand out that much. If you wait a little bit, he's going to move his head away from his chest to stick out a bit. You get a better view of the bird, but it's very nice. I think that got a 7.
Next.
Gray Kestrel Balancing Act. This is terrific on the bird. It is so sharp. Every little feather has detail. Everything about it is good. As far as the bird is looking right at the photographer, again, standing on what appears to be a branch or a rock. I would have problems with the amount of blank space you have to the right. I would like to see you cut off half of that blank space from the end of the branch to the edge on the right, just because it's blank and it doesn't contribute anything to your photo. Kind of detracts from it as it expands. But um,
I
everything is
think also
technically very good on the bird.
I I think also if this were my image, one of the things I would try is I would go up to the eyes, and especially the brow, and I think there's detail in there that could be teased out, and and uh, and so I would encourage you to try that just to see if you could bring out some of the highlights, actually more of the highlights, and I think that would I I I would bet you a dime that it's there. You just have to work at it. Next.
Getting crowded here.
Excuse
Here
me,
we have
what was the score to the previous one?
7.
Go ahead, Karen.
Getting crowded here. We have a wildflower with several types of insects on it and a caterpillar. The flower is good. It's a bit spent though. It has come down to its last little skirt of petals. There are many insects on it. Uh, the insects, the flower itself, all kind of lack sufficient interest to give it an award. So it got a 7.
I think also it's kind of one of the things that I resonate to is the whole idea of is I don't know what the subject is for, because there's so much going on. Is it the caterpillar? Is it, so there's multiple images, elements, and they somewhat compete with one another. And so I think to give it impact, it somehow you need to figure out a way to direct the viewer's eye to something, to one thing. That's always going to add to the impact. Next.
Here we have purple and orange. This got good score. The insect, I think it's a moth, is very well done, very sharp throughout. The flower is blown out, but it's a common aster that we're all familiar with. And the purple and orange really pop out, have impact. I would have kind of thought that you could eliminate the flower on your left and, focus on your moth. But as is, it's still fine. And it got at least an 8.
Let me correct something that was said, is that the phrase blow it out was used to describe
Oh, blurred out. I'm sorry, blurred out.
yeah, something that's out of focus or soft. And so the intention was to say that it was not sharp or soft. As I looked at this image, you've got a really strong subject with the insect, and that you could crop it pretty significantly to even add more impact. It would have scored higher than an 8 with that crop maybe, but also if you look at the antennae, I'm not sure how sharp they are. It's looking sharper than I remember. But anyway, no, don't forget that. Anyway, just crop it to make the subject more prominent. Next.
Here you have Twinkling Swan with the starburst around the swan. It's a very good picture of the swan. It's sharp, it's well exposed. The little starbursts contribute to the idea of the celebration of the swan itself as a kind of star of nature, celebrated character on your pond or lake, which is nice. But the bird itself isn't doing much. It's just swimming along there in the lake, likely. So it got a 7.
Let me raise something about this picture is that, and you guys can maybe educate me. You don't have to do it now, maybe off to the side. But in my mind, there's two ways to create those starbursts. One is to go with a very, very narrow aperture, and that will create starbursts, like if you shoot at f/22. The other way is you apply a filter. And so I don't know how the maker got to have those starbursts, if it was the aperture or if it was a filter. If it was a filter, I don't know that that's allowed in the wild category. So that did not affect the scoring, but I just had a question as to how were those starbursts created? Through the aperture or through a filter? Or maybe there's another way to have it happen that I'm not aware of. So I'll just throw that into the conversation. We don't have to talk about it now, but whoever made this image, I'd like to hear what your response is to that question. Thank you. Next.
Snowy day whitetail. Here we have a very good deer, a doe. Looking at the camera, you have all of the tail, the feet, the hooves, everything, every part of the animal. It's very good. It's sharp. I would cut out a little of the left to the bushes maybe and part of the top to really focus entirely on the animal as you've got it really in such good focus and so on. You can see details in the fur, and it would have more impact if the background was more subdued. Really don't need that empty space around it. So it got a 7.
Next.
I want you to talk about this one.
So the colors are just really vibrant, and so are the textures. I don't mind in some ways, when it's centered, but that's the way portraits are, and I'm going to think of this as a portrait. Some people might be distracted by not having the frog separated. I mean, you've got the algae or whatever it is. It's hard to kind of tell where the frog begins and the algae takes over. But it is a really nice, sharp, vibrant image, and we gave it an 8. Next.
Pine Martin. There you have a really good subject that you don't see that often. He is again looking right at the camera. He's got a paw up. He's in a natural setting. That was very well done and got an 8.
So nice textures, good sharp eyes. Next.
Eyes of a hunter, grip of a warrior. This was really good. I really wanted to score it higher. You've got the animal moving. You've got him with a catch. Even the fish has expression on it. Kind of the horror of being caught there. Very good sharpness, exposure, everything about the technical qualities of the bird, the fish, everything is very good. The only thing holding it back is, again, there's a lot of empty space around the bird and the fish. And all in that picture you really want to see are the bird and the fish. I would really encourage you to crop out half of the blank space from his right wing to the right edge and half of the blank space from the top left down to halfway between that and the top edge of his left wing, and really focus on your picture. I think you have enough sharpness and detail and exposure that it would just add a great deal of impact. So that got, I believe, an 8. Cactus wren treading carefully. This John will tell you about.
Yeah. This has wonderful detail and sharpness. The eye is perfect. So it's just a beautiful close-up of this really small bird. It's got lots of information, lots of detail. The exposure was good. The separation is also pretty good. So what did we gave this a 9. Next.
Fine sunrise. This is a good landscape. We love the pinks and purples in the foreground, complementing the sunset, or I guess it's the sunrise in the background. Very well done. Everything looks sharp. All of the foreground way to the back of the trees on the horizon. This got an 8, I believe.
Next.
Going to share. This is a cute picture of the monkeys, the interaction. Everything is technically very well done, very sharp. The smaller monkey may be sharper. Gotta like the tail wrapped around the branch.
I think it's a really nice interaction. You've got the what I assume is a younger monkey engaged with maybe the adult. I think there's really good sharpness. I think the most significant issue with this image is the background is just way too hot, and I don't know how you fix that. And so it was a great opportunity, a great moment, but you were fighting this sunshine, and sometimes you lose, and it just doesn't work out. And I think that's what happened here. But it was really a good effort. There's a lot that's right about this, but I think that the background falls into my category of being a fatal flaw. It just it's unfortunate. So that's a 7.
Lumber Lake. This was done in black and white earlier. You now have a color scene. It's still very nice on that clump of trees on an island out in a lake or river. Very nice, have a lot of interest. You know, you get that idyllic winter scene. It's just the rest of the landscape items lack sufficient interest to keep us happy. It's just that group on the island that you want. The rest of it is less interesting and it kind of fails as a landscape for the amount of space that you have that lacks interest. So it got a 7.
Next.
Gen 2 and chicks. This is very good. It's very close, very sharp on the mother or father penguin caring for the chicks. The chicks are looking up. They're soft, but all of these young birds, the feathers are just soft, and there's not a lot you can do about it. They're looking at their parent, with these adoring eyes and so on and so forth. This got, I believe, a 9.
Yep. Next.
Rock Face Antelope Canyon. This is nice. It's that famous rock formation that is totally popular. I'm a little disturbed about the what appears to be artificial light from the bottom of the rock going up to the top, giving you the blue on the sides and the color. I mean, I know it's probably done that way, but it just doesn't look natural. So it got a
And
7.
it's amazing how just the smallest, literally the smallest thing can throw you off. And it did with us. Those little specks of white light or those crumbs at the very center middle or at the bottom edge would take nothing to crop those out. Uh, but that made a difference. Okay, next.
This was the winner with the 10. You're very close to the osprey. You've got a catch there. Everything about the bird is sharp and well focused. He's in action, catching dinner. You've got the salmon there with him. It's tightly cropped. Nothing needs to be left out. You don't really need the rest of the bird. You want to be close on the head and the fish. It's just very, very well done. That was the winner.
Okay, next.
I think that's the end.
That's it. Okay. Do any of you have any questions?
I'm gonna read the names first.
Oh, okay, sure. Good.
So the 8s are Alan Schultz, Magpie Inkcaps Pear, Paul Kamen, Sawet Owl, Michael Sweet, Glossy Ibis, Jeanette Mayo, Grasshopper Nymph Molted Exoskeleton, Janan Karataken, Purple and Orange, John Lemire, Frog Camo, Michael Greiner, Pine Martin, John Penoyer, Lupin Sunrise, Paul Kamen, Painted Bunting, Jeanette Mayo, Ovipositing Ichneumon Wasp, Carl Figgenshoe, Beaver River in Fall, Joe Fierce, Roosting Northern Sawet Owl with Pellet, D. Hunniset Dritz, Bald Eagle Portrait, John Penoyer, Gobbling Gobbler. Will Rogers, Awe, the Memories. The Nines, D. Hunniset Dritz, Eyes of a Hunter, Grip of a Warrior. Richard Getz, Cactus Wren, Treading Carefully. Alan Schultz, Gentoo and Chicks. And Janan Karataken, Remember to Look Down. And the Tens, Don Specht, Osprey with Dinner. And that's the end of the slideshow.
Hey, Roslyn,
Yep.
can you check the eights again? I didn't see my image deep thoughts included in that.
So when she did the talk tonight, she said it was an 8, but on the score sheet it was listed as a 7. So we can talk afterwards about whether it's going to be a 7 or an 8.
My bad, I'm sorry. Didn't have the score sheet with me here, so I should have mentioned something.
So
What
is it-
image was that again?
The deep thoughts one with the landscape with the, is that the one, Mark, with the?
Yes, that's the one. It was given an 8 at the salon, but it wasn't mentioned in the final.
Oh, probably I don't have the score sheet with me, so I may have misjudged. It's what's on the score sheet. You'll have to go with that.
Fair enough.
Does anyone else have any questions?